Hello and welcome to the Frogeex online challenge day 4. Hello, Richard. Nice to see you. And hello, everybody also who is listening to the replay or watching the replay. Hope you're going to get some value out of this session today. So today is day 4. On day 1, we were talking about, how to set meaningful goals, how to reach them. On day 2, we talked about how to take massive action. So basically, cutting out time of the equation, how to, get a daily routine, etc., how to calibrate your body, your mind, and so on. On day 3, we were talking about how to build your brand. So what are the small actions that you need to take? What are the basics that you need to understand to approach in your communications? Looking at problems that you solve for your customers, having the same language, etc., and what channels to use to be very efficient with the content that you produce, and so on. So today on day 4, we're going to talk about how to monetize your value. Now, I have a very simple structure for you today. So we start with the 5 pillars of monetization, and the first point is taking action. So this is something that everybody knows, that procrastination is going to cost you the most. So basically, I want to challenge you also today. When you have an activity, for example, making a phone call to one of your clients, or a connection on LinkedIn, writing a little email, etc., I challenge you to just do it. Just do it. We had it also in the other segments. Take the time, take the 2 minutes, and just basically eliminate the task. Don't create to-do lists, create a done list. So this is what I would like to tell you on the take action point. In terms of second point, it's just also very simple. You need to always write an offer. So what is important for every customer, customers and buyers, they believe what they see, not what they hear. So apparently sharing a transparent information with them around, what your product is, around what is your service, what is included, what are the conditions, what is the pricing, concrete pricing, putting them in a position so they can actually buy or make a decision. Yes, I'm interested. I want to do this very early, basically having this document or, this type of format ready whenever you talk to a customer, having it ready with you. So this is the third or second, my apologies, second point. The third point is around hello. Nice to see you. The third point is around promoting. So promotion, we also talked about it yesterday. If people don't know you, how can they benefit? How can they buy your solution? You know it eventually from yourself, or maybe you experience the situation. Sometimes it's around, who do you consider first? Who do you think of first when, you want to buy something, buy a product, or, get a service or whatever. It's not really about, having nice commercials somewhere, etc. It's about being considered, being thought of when, somebody looks for a solution in your segment, whether it's, a charging station or a coaching session, or, being more present on the online market in sustainability, talking now about Frogeex, whatever, being present, being thought of. That's the key over there in terms of promotion, and doing it with every piece of content that you have. Everything that is related to your company, to your topic, positioning yourself, and also sharing useful information for the audience, for your customers, so they can leverage that and utilize it for themselves. The one thing that I would like to also mention in terms of the next point, which is follow-up, is, Alejandro also said it yesterday, people do business with people. As simple as it is, it's a relationship. So business is a relationship. If it's a big company or a small company, always you're going to have somebody you talk to that you trust. The bigger the organization, the more important is it that you have a face behind it, that you have somebody you can connect to. And it's like with any other relationship, you need to invest time and energy into that. So follow up is another word for investing time and energy, finding ways, genuine ways, how you reconnect with the person, check up on the person, whether it's, having the same interest, having same topics, same events that you attend to, or just sharing information that is relevant for you or for them. Just, thinking also a little bit about this and about your business partners as well. So with this, I would basically go to the last factor. Today it's going to be eventually very, very quick, but maybe we can just go quickly into what you think about this, Rich. Any feedback on the first 5 pillars? Something that Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, I think it's. I've never heard of those 5 pillars before, but I agree with them wholeheartedly. Yeah, taking action. What's the quote? There's many an opportunity that is missed by standing still. So I think that is prevalent. I think action is important. What I tend to do, I do to-do lists. But what I try to do is group them all together and then batch my tasks, the most important task, and I kind of get down stuck into a deep hour of work, and I tend to try and get them all done and out. So I try to take action, but with a strategy on that to try and minimize my actual time, and I kind of focus on one task at a time and make sure I get it done and completed. And I like that feeling of completing really important tasks in an allotted space for myself, so it doesn't drag out the whole day, basically. So I try to do that quite a lot. Your transparency in the sales process, yeah, I think that's really important, and something that we are developing. And there's, with EV charging, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to explain. In terms of what kind of charger your client needs in the site, what the kind of features and benefits, what the tariff settings could be. Are you going to open to the public or not? There's lots to it, so there's a big educational piece that we have to give to our clients, and it's quite a long sales process. Being present and promoting, we were talking a lot about that yesterday, and I'm a big fan of it. And I think, where you mentioned that, it's promoting the business, but we can promote ourselves as employees. And we talked about, if we can share the same vision, the company and the employees, then that is a kind of win-win situation where, it's helping the employee present, but it's also helping the business. And educating the audience as well, I think it's really important. And finally, it was follow up, right? And I think that's really important as well. To Alejandro's point yesterday, I was thinking about it later on in the day, that people sell to people nowadays, and I think that's really, really interesting. And I think it's a niche advantage, isn't it, of us versus the Coca-Colas in this world, that we can get down and have personal relationships and build those personal relationships around trust rather than authority. And and I think that is a shift in mindset in business currently. So I think it's really interesting, some really interesting points. I'm interested to hear from Alejandro as well, and what he thinks around these points.
I have some points back to you, but definitely Alejandro, please chip in.
For me, also the follow-up is something that I am learning a lot. For example, in my case, I don't have any more problems in leads, like looking for new people to connect. I am connecting with them. But when you start to have that problem, that you don't have problem with leads, you start to have a problem of what is your process to follow up. And that means that you're having so many people that suddenly you can feel like, okay, it doesn't matter if if this person say no to me right now, I can continue and the next one and next one. But at the end, once again, what we were talking yesterday, that people is buying from people. And one thing that we need to learn in marketing, the idea of marketing at the end is that they know you. That's everything. That they need to know you, and they are going to know who you are and who are you behind the scenes. And you know that right now, with all the overwhelm of information that there is outside, people doesn't buy from the first time that they contact you or don't contact anybody. They are going to be looking for ways, and see yourself when you want to buy something, even a cell phone. Even I buy this iPhone. I'm going to start to review all the details about this cell. I am going to understand what is the difference with an Android, and I start to see Samsung, what is better, what is worse, why I want to have this one and not the other one. That means that you are going to do like 5 to 10 to 20 points of contact just to find out what is your decision. And maybe if of course, there is some people that they lose your phone today and you have to take a decision tomorrow. That's one case, and there is some. But when you start to understand that that is less than 1% of the people, and marketing is not about that less than 1%, it's for the other 99%. And the 99% is how you are following up with them, how you are using your email to be telling them why you are the right decision for them, and how is the process with all those customers that are thinking and looking. Sometimes the thing that you are saying to them is the first time that they hear, and it's like, oh, that's interesting, I didn't thought about it. But if suddenly you disappear, like, I don't know, he's not interested, and the reason is not he's not interested, is that he's looking for to understand, or he's still assimilating what you have told him, you know. So that process for follow up, and you know, Jana from Grant, he says that everything follow up is everything.
It's like,
is
sorry,
is the blood of the company at the end, and it's and I am telling you this from a person that is not, I don't like to be pushy. I don't like to be like, yo, you have to take a decision. But at the same time, I know that the value that I bring to the table is so huge and so important that continue telling you about the thing that I am doing and explaining you about that is going to help you a lot. So it comes to another point of view. It's like, because I want to help you, and at the end the transaction is going to be the money, but but and another thing that I was learning in the last days is it's not about closing deals, but opening relationships.
love that, that is a tagline,
Yes.
So I mean, just to also, you mentioned it with the number of contacts. So basically, that's also the thing, building up a long-term relationship. Of course, you have people that, for example, Rich, for you, they have a charging station, or I'm a business person. I know that I'm missing a thing. I know that I want to grow, you know, for you, Alejandro, in terms of coaching. But the idea is there is a small percentage of people that are prepared to buy, that are just ready to buy because they read enough, they know enough, and they just, you know, want to do it. They want to have it done. But for the rest, as you said, it's a more long-term thing, and actually it's better for everybody. If you have a long-term customer, it's going to be better for you because you have a stable business. It's proven. It's like, what, 5 times cheaper to have a, you know, to retain a customer than to invest energy, go to look for a new one. If you have a satisfied, happy customer that is with you, you have a tremendous gain for your business. And I mean, to this point, in terms of sales, I mean, everybody, you know, satisfied, back to the point, satisfied customer, everybody is like, you know, when, oh my gosh, somebody's going to complain, or, you know, I mean, people try to avoid, you know, any type of survey calls or whatever, because, you know, you just get hit by the direct feedback of the customer. But usually when customers complain, and maybe you know it also from yourself, I'm not quite sure, you can tell me based on your personal experience, you are either not really willing to change, but you still require, you know, either a change of setup of product, there was a mistake, you know, something that was not delivered correctly, but you actually want to stay with the person, with the company. So it's actually a great opportunity if you tackle that right, if you convert that right. So I would just maybe put that one in the discussion as well. I love the point which you mentioned, Rich, around making condensed slots of time and dedicating energy to, you know, your tasks, just to clean off the list, or, you know, have a blocked time for potentially, you know, putting other activities, family, I don't know, education, meetings, whatever you have. So I really like that. And we're going to have a special session on capacity and time management as well. It's going to be a little bit later, somewhere around the summer, but we're going to definitely do this. And there is one element that also Alejandro already touched upon, and I loved it because you always, you know, indicate, I really love it. And it belongs for me to the factors. So it's also a little bit, I mean, first of all, do you ask anybody to do something that you are not willing to do yourself? So how do you approach your customers? You know, do you ask them to do a quick decision? And are you eventually ready to do the quick decision, to buy fast, to decide straight on the moment, you know? So this is something very interesting that I would just like to position in the discussion for yourself, to maybe just, you know, revalidate or reflect on your buying decisions. They say that how you buy is how you sell. So basically this could be also a trigger over there. And the second point is, why would anybody buy from you? So this goes really into, you know, you want to monetize your value. You know, Alejandro, value of the coaching that you bring, of the information that you bring, which you have, you know, accessible solutions, the approach of the company, etc. My apologies for this. Just a second.
No apologies. So continue. What do you think, Rich, on these things?
Yeah, no apologies required. Yeah, it's very interesting. As I mentioned yesterday, I am a director in this startup business, but I don't have direct control under the sales team. And you know, and I think this can be a common experience between marketing and sales, where a lot of this is under my control, and I take this forward, and then, you know, the sales part is not. But I think it's very, very interesting where I'm learning that we have to view it as a whole journey, you know, that marketing sales journey, and it takes time. And I was just reflecting, because it's quite funny, your example about the smartphone, the cell phone. And I often use the example that we're not selling smartphones here, in terms of, I think that when people purchase a smartphone, it is fairly quick. It's a fairly quick decision, and they can purchase it online. Whereas the EV charging solution is far more complex than that. So it's funny that you give the example of the smartphone, and actually people take a long time to decide to purchase a smartphone, indeed.
Sometimes, yes. For example, if you are already like, why I continue buying Apple?
Yeah.
Because they have been working with me as a customer, and the support and everything that is working with them. I know that I can go to an Apple store, and if something is wrong, they're going to try to fix it very quick. If I have the same problem with Samsung, it's not the same, or with any other cell phone. And I have 3 years of experience of having the same support. So once again, what you are telling right now is, even the sale, after the sale, the process of giving the support is part of the sale also, because they continue buying from you, because that is like, no, why I am going to change. I know that they are charging 200 more, 300 more than the last year, but the support is so big and so good that I want to continue. So they continue thinking that that is part of the process with the customer.
And I think it's quite interesting, if we look at EV charging, my sector, is that, you know, technology is coming out all of the time. There's different manufacturers, different brands, different EV charging. There's different back office solutions. So the software that we use to manage all of the chargers that kind of can keep your accounts up to date. So as you can imagine, it's quite a competitive environment. And then there's installer groups like that. You know, it's a competitive environment. So there are no Apples yet, you know, there are no Microsofts, you know, there are no established companies. I mean, there's big companies, but there's still room to maneuver. So how do you build your startup to be that kind of, to gain trust? I think John's point there about that, it's 5 times cheaper to retain a customer than rather than get a new one, I think is really insightful. And it comes to this 2080 proposition that I use with my time management. I try to look at, you know, what's the 20% of my to-do list that is actually the most important, and I focus on getting that important task done rather than the other 80%. And I think retaining a customer has that same premise, right? Because, you know, that customer is already in place, it's already generating you revenue. that is the important person to increase their revenues from, rather than it's tempting in this industry to feel like you can do everything. There's fleet management, there's bus depots, there's airports. The possibilities are endless in EV charging. But when you try and take on too much, it's difficult to hold type thing. So, I think it's a really, insightful premise. What do you think, Jana? Welcome back.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Family and business, we all love it. We all live it.
Perfect.
It's
Don't worry.
It's great. Thank you so much. And also for I was listening. It was a quick intersection, so that's good. And so definitely with you, Rich. We discussed it also yesterday. So completely agree. I would just go 1 point back to your one element that you mentioned in terms of the solution is complicated in terms of EVs. It's not so easy. You need to have this and this and that. So I'm not quite sure, and it's just maybe throwing in ideas into the process. Also, of course, welcome feedback. What would it mean for you if you would have a simple pricing structure, maybe packages that you offer, that would be just, taking off a little bit of time constraint, calculations, whatever. I see that a lot of times with consulting businesses that we cooperate with, that there is always, we need to calculate it, or it's even, realization companies that always say, yes, but we need to, calculate the whole project. So those companies which have a kind of standard package price for either a square meter, or, this is what the work costs, this is what the administration costs with it. What do you think? Would it be easier or maybe faster even for a customer just to make a decision, go very, very similar like with a, with telephone, with a mobile, just picking up a solution?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, and it's something that we've been looking at. What we are avoiding is the domestic market. So I think it's a bit easier in the domestic market, where it's going to be more of a standard installation, where you look at the fuse box, you put the charger onto the garage, and generally it's a 7.4 charger, which is a small powered charger, and there won't need, your standard electricity input will charge that no problems. And if you turn your telly on while you're charging your car, it won't cut the fuses, so there's generally not a problem there. When you look at workplaces, hotels, anything more powerful, you then, there's a lot of pre-contract work that you need to look at, the incoming electricity, what you're going to use. It depends how far the car parking charging that you want is from the substation. You might need to get new DNO, you might need to increase the energy supply. So generally anything much bigger, we tend to say it's bespoke, tailored solution. And what we're working on is a kind of a set standard of rates. The dream is that we will get leads in, process and manage the turnkey solution, and then build up a network of subcontractors that we will manage under a kind of a comprehensive subcontractor management system. All of the project management, all of the health and safety will be done paperless through software. So what we're planning is a whole software solution, from lead generation to project management to delivery. So in larger clients, our plan is to offer them these rates. Say, look, this is what we're going to charge for an installation. This is what the cables will charge. These are the product charges. So we can itemize. This is how much it costs to dig through concrete through a meter. This is how much it costs. So we can give all of these. This is how much it's going to cost to get new electricity in. So we can give all of these rates, but actually, until you go down and inspect each site, you don't really know what you're going to come across. So it's interesting, and it's an interesting one, because we have to spend money on surveys to do that, or do you charge the customer for that survey? That's something that we've been battling against, because there's a price associated to doing those surveys to actually then be able to quote a project. So it's interesting, and learning how to do it best is something that we're still learning, I think, to be honest. Any thoughts on that, John?
Quick question, Rich. When you think about your company, where are you going? What do you see?
Well, I could definitely see scale up potential in this business. It's an exciting sector in carbon reduction. There are, there's in the UK, there's a government ban on electric vehicles being sold in 2030. We've got a clear value proposition, which is, more and more people are owning EV cars. In the near future, electric vehicles will be cheaper than petrol cars, including electric vans. So people now are thinking about their next purchase will be an electric vehicle. So that is shifting. There's destination charging. So if your luxury hotel, has a coffee machine in the bedroom and EV charging in the car park, you can now compete with the best, right? So there's clear features, benefits. We're making sure that we have sustainability at the core of the business. That's been my kind of mantra from the start, because I genuinely believe that best sustainable practices is just good business sense, and it helps the world and it helps society. It's just, it's great. That's why I'm really excited about it. So we've done a lot of work to try and get this to a point that we can scale up without taking more and more and more people on, is the core idea. Now, it's difficult. We're not there yet. But I feel that we've now got the seeds, the foundation in place.
With what you are saying, think, okay, who I want this company to become.
Yeah.
Because what you are telling me right now, it's what you see in the market, and that's awesome, because having that in the market helps you to see that there is a lot of things that you can become. But once again, what do you want to be as a company? Because what you're telling me is like, okay, in 10 years, less than 10 years, in 8 years, this country, they won't have other option than having only electric cars. That's amazing. But that means that there is not only Rich, but another 10 or 20 companies trying to do the same. So what do you see about your company?
Well, why choose Green Dawn? Lots of other companies have similar benefits in terms of making it easy for our client. It's a very complex thing to purchase this EV charging. So we try and make it easy. There's this whole educational piece that we try and do effectively. We are very serious about quality and compliance. So we do all of that, but competitors do that as well. Right? We have to, tariff setting, with these charge point management systems, we can change the tariff setting so they can see their return on investment and things like that. We've developed calculators to kind of show them, their investment and their return on investment. And then number 3 is making this real difference. And I hope that is the differentiator, that it's our sustainability, and that we're not just greenwashing. We're super passionate about sustainability and actually thinking about it daily. So we've got the 3% giving. We are hoping to be zero waste to landfill business. We're going to be reporting GRI standards. We want to get ISO 5001. We want to get ISO 14001. We want to just do everything. We're donating with 1% for the planet. We're donating with 1 tree planted. We're trying to do that as our differentiator. It's trying to make sustainability. This is why I'm passionate about it, because I think you can save money. I think you can generate more revenue. I think you can recruit talented staff. I think you can retain those staff. I think you can increase productivity because employees share your values, and you reduce risks in the future because of all of those things that we've just mentioned. Then it gives you a marketing angle as well, because it is important to consumers nowadays. We are in a runaway train going towards a brick wall in terms of climate and energy. So it is important, and you should use your sustainability as a marketing tool, as long as you're not greenwashing, right? And that has been my mantra here. It's like it's all well and good being called Green Dawn, the company's Green Dawn, and it's all well and good being carbon reduction and in this, but it's just another technological solution unless you do it the right way, right? And that has been my mantra, and I'm hoping that will pay dividends in the end and set us apart from our competition. That's the idea.
I know that we are already ended of the time.
Few more minutes.
I'm going to give you just one thinking.
Please.
When I'm asking you about who do you see, and that's something that I will recommend you to do, to write 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, whatever, like of all the things that you see. Start to plan ahead, like, okay, I want to see this company like this. I'm going to be selling this amount of things. Think about, do you want to become a market dominator? Do you want to dominate your market or not? You want to be exclusively in one area, or you want to do more things? So depending on that, you are going to start to move everything around that. But if you don't have clarity of what you really want, nobody will know how to help you. You can have a lot of guys helping you in the marketing and giving you insights, but really, if at the end of each of the surveys that you are doing, one people is saying this thing, the other one is saying this, the others this, the other this, suddenly you're like, I don't know who I trust, who I follow, no, you have to have something that you really want inside. And the surveys are just helping you to do little shifts in some things, but not really changing what you are doing, your strategy. So first, you need to have clarity exactly of what do you want to have and who you want to become. The only way to monetize is having that clarity. If you don't have that clarity, everybody that you are connecting is like, okay, Rich has an amazing dream, but it's like, I don't know how to help him. I don't know if I am in that dream. When you are talking about writing about that, you are going to write about that person, and that person, when they see that, they will see, oh, I am in his dream, I want to be in his dream also. So that's part of what you need to write. And I'm telling you, have this one exercise, like 1-2 hours just by yourself. And I know that it's not your company, but it's going to give you a lot of clarity. And you can ask the same thing to the owners of the company. Can you help me to write just by yourself what is exactly what you want? And do the same with the sales guy. And you start to see what are the values and the connection that everybody has. Because everybody has a different perspective of the things. But when you start to unify everything, you are going to start to see like there are a lot of things that are similar or not. And you need to align everything. If not, you are going to be trying to do something that the sales guy is saying, no, it's completely different. And the owner is saying, no, it's another thing. And suddenly you have a mess in your company because everybody is trying to pursue what they think is the thing that they need to do.
Super
very
point.
very interesting points, and very interesting meeting again, John. Thank you very much.
Super. Welcome and join us again, because you know what, tomorrow you mentioned the topic around, you want to be different on your journey with sustainability as a key element. So certainly we're gonna talk about that tomorrow as well, because that's what we do within Frogeex. That's the red line, whatever you do. So certainly come and join us. We will have a look on how you can innovate your business model. And there are few ways how you can do it. We will share with you 10 examples how you can look at the different aspects of, how to innovate your business model so it's more sustainable, give you some inspiration, give you some ideas on, what you can consider for yourself. I would see, I mean, definitely a super interesting topic. We're going to have a separate webinar on the topic of e-mobility with some stakeholders coming in, charging stations, apparently, the charging infrastructure, hot topic. So I would like to also, via this opportunity, invite you to this, presenting your company, the approach, vision, etc. So it's another opportunity also to promote what you do. What is your approach? What is your vision in terms of sustainability? What do you want to do? And there are certainly some critical things, you mentioned donation, the social economy, my apologies, the social element, or how to contribute. What about materials, the infrastructure, etc.? You mentioned zero waste to landfill, also super interesting. So I would definitely like to share more about this, and because it's really a great approach to work with. So with this, I would just also, you mentioned some elements around, why your company is so great, and why, are you so motivated, so passionate. Also, when talking about this one can literally feel it and hear it from you and see it, that you believe in those topics. And when answering these questions, I mean, Alejandro also suggested a great exercise. Why would anybody buy from you is also a great exercise for you, for your team, for sales. And it's going to also connect them to the objections. So prepare them a little bit to what customers going to object to you in a sales meeting, etc. And you will understand more what's their perspective. You will be just prepared more. And of course, you need to work out the details regarding what's your best answer to that, or why a certain objection is valid, or, you understand the point, but there is a different angle on that one as well. So I would just maybe recommend this one. Attitude, staying motivated, that's the key. So I believe you have it once you're passionate about the topic and you have the right people around, calibrated your mind, you know what you want to do, same as what Alejandro said, having a clarity on this, it's great. And regarding transparency information, one last point to finish before we go into the assignment of today, right out of the 10x rule, price is a myth. So basically, it's a completely made up number. You may have some material cost, you may have some time that you consider, but besides that, I mean, nobody can say what's the value that you bring. So looking at your, sustainability approach, the moral value, the ethics that you bring as a company, the development that Alejandro brings, with, providing interest and time and spending his energy on, figuring out or helping you figure out, what's your journey forward. That's nobody can put a price tag on that. So it's really, I mean, it's very subjective. And I would encourage you to also challenge you and your team. Just a second.
We want to say hi also, Janato, so that's fine.
So that was the ending, So price is being a myth, basically. It's made up, and I would encourage you to really look at the value that you create. My apologies for this. It's really a sound, a lot of background sound. So with this, I would go into the assignment, which is for the part one. What are the situations you procrastinate with? My apologies, I just need to close. So the assignment for today would be, what are the situations that you procrastinate and delay action the most? Make a list, also how you can overcome those. Of course, it's going to be also posted on the LinkedIn page that we have, LinkedIn group. And part two is contact 3 clients you talked with and did not send an offer. So basically, it was a nice discussion. You tell them what you do. You told them what you do, but there was no action, no offer sent to them. So with this, and with a nice intro, I would tell you it was a great pleasure. We are slightly over time, but it was worth it. And see you on the next one tomorrow.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.